Greetings, I'm Bill Burns. I'm the founder of the Doctor's Debt Advisors, where we help physicians, dentists, medical students, and residents who are interested in their personal finances and interested in paying off debt, especially how to do that in an easy, safe, guaranteed manner so they can live without financial stress, so they can build some financial stability, financial security, and some wealth. And we teach them how to do that in a very easy, safe, and guaranteed method, by the way. This class is a little bit of a deep dive on some of the math and the numbers behind a repayment schedule on a mortgage loan or a medical school loan. Both have the same structure. The example we're going to go through is a mortgage loan. And we're going to show you about interest cancellation and acceleration of payoff. And sorry if I bore you, but I always give a mercifully brief introduction. I spent over 25 years in the financial services industry. I was a financial analyst, an asset manager, mortgage lender for many years. In about the past 8 years, I've been a trainer and a speaker teaching people how to do this stuff. But the real reason why I do this is because I know what it's like to live with financial stress. I know what it's like to wake up 2:30, 3 in the morning in some level of anxiety. And I've talked with many post-grads, doctors, dentists, starting out with a nice size mortgage, a nice size medical school debt. They're working long, long hours, and they feel it. And I know what it's like to wake up at that dark hour of the night and worry and not be able to go back to sleep. So that's why I do this work, because we can help these people. And by the way, just following this one class will give you a lot of hope. So that's why I do this. Now, I want to introduce you to Mark Cuban. He has an interesting perspective. He said in Business Insider magazine, the money I save on interest by not having debt is better than any return I could possibly get by investing that money in the stock market. So he's saying, hey, paying off debt is a better return. Let me show you what he's talking about. And this is a little bit of a deep dive into the numbers, but this is where we prove the concept of why this works. We're going to show you, by looking at a repayment schedule, how you can easily cancel $2,657 in interest. And the dollar figure really isn't important. It's important to get the concept of it. The example just happens to be $2,657 in interest. We're going to show you exactly how this works and how you do it. And when you do that, you accelerate the payoff by 4 months. Now, if you can do this on a regular basis, cut chunks out of your debt like this, at whatever dollar amount is appropriate for you, you end up canceling thousands of dollars of interest, tens of thousands, sometimes, especially if you have a mortgage loan, hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest. And it's a easy, safe, guaranteed way. No refinancing, no paying extra every month, and no real change to your budget or lifestyle. You just bank a little bit differently. And by the way, use our financial GPS product. Anyway, so let's take a little bit of a deep dive here. Here are the 5 first lines of what we call an amortization schedule or a repayment schedule. And you can go on Google amortization schedule, put in loan terms, and you'll see for yourself. The loan we're dealing with here is a 30-year term. So it's like a mortgage loan, $200,000 loan amount, 4% interest, 30 years, fixed rate. That gives you a payment, $954.83 up here in the upper right-hand corner. That's your principal and interest payment on the money borrowed. All right, let's follow the bouncing ball and make some payments. Line number 1. Let's say it's January. We're going to make the first payment on this repayment schedule on this loan. We send them a regular check for principal and interest of $954.83. That's that principal amount, that interest amount. After the lender applies it, our balance would be $199,711. Now, also in January, we're going to prepay some principal. We have some extra money laying around. We think this is going to be a better investment than investing in the stock market. So let's see if it is. We're going to send them a second check also in January in the same envelope. Okay, this is the old-fashioned way to do it. Excuse me, but it's the way I grew up paying off our mortgages. Let's send them an additional amount of $1,192.30. Well, I picked that specific amount just to make this example work out very clearly so you could see it clearly. That represents those 4 lines of principal amounts. Is $1,192.30. So the lender gets those 2 amounts in January and they apply them. So at the end of January, now we owe $198,549. Now, here's a quiz question. On what line of our repayment schedule will our February payment be applied to? Because we have to send a check every month. On what line will February's payment be applied to? Here's a hint. Remember, this repayment schedule has 360 lines of payments. Well, if you're thinking down here, February's payment on line 6, you would be correct. So if you have any questions about that, just contact us. I'll clear it up for you. So in February, we send them just the regular amount, $954.83. That's that principal and interest amount. And then at the end of February, we owe, down here at the bottom, $198,256. Well, let's stop for a minute and count the money that the bank has received. When I was an asset manager, I always liked counting the money that came into my department each month. All right, so we sent them a January check. The lender received this principal amount and this interest amount. Yes, they did. Did they receive these 4 lines of principal amounts? They received all this principal. Yes, they did. Then in February, the lender received this principal amount and this interest amount. Yes, they did. So my question for you is, what happened to those 4 interest amounts? The interest amounts on those 4 lines. What happened to that? Well, that interest was canceled. The lender will never receive that money, and they will never be able to go back and try and claim that money. That was interest that was only scheduled to be collected by the lender, but we prepaid. We canceled that interest. We canceled $2,657 of interest. And what else happened here? Well, we accelerated by 4 months. We accelerated the payoff in 4 months. We went from line 1 to line 6. So in summary, we invested $1,192 in prepaying debt. We canceled $2,657 of interest, and we accelerated the payoff by 4 months. That's why Mark Cuban says, the money I save on interest by not having debt is better than any return I could possibly get by investing that money in the stock market. We invested $1,192 in prepaying debt. We could have invested in the stock market or whatever, but we invested it in prepaying this mortgage loan. We canceled $2,657 in interest. Isn't that like a benefit of more than 200%? And we accelerated the payoff by 4 months. If you can do this on a regular basis at whatever dollar amount is appropriate for your cash flow and your budget and your lifestyle, frankly, that's where our value comes in. That's what we help you figure out. So you can do this on an ongoing basis and always know how fast you're going to be paying off debt and what it means to you in your lifestyle and what it means to you making financial decisions. So that's why numerically, mathematically, prepaying debt cancels lots of interest, accelerates the payoff. It's better than any return you can get in the stock market. Now, every case is different. People's debt levels are different. Some people who are almost paid off, paying in the last couple of years of a 30-year mortgage loan, for instance, then this is going to be a totally different story for those people. My friends, that is it. An internist came to us. He owed on a mortgage $300,000, little over $200,000, still on his medical school loans and credit card debt. His monthly payments were on this debt were almost $4,300 a month. He paid that all off in 8.3 years. This is one of our first clients. He's already done paying it off, and now he has $4,300 a month left over to do whatever they want with. They're thinking about buying an investment property. Maybe they're going to buy a second home. They're taking better vacations. I know that for a fact. and they're building some wealth. They're looking for different ways to save for retirement because they've already been maxing out their 401ks. My friends, that's what we do. It's easy, it's safe, it's guaranteed. The last step, if you are interested at all, by all means, contact us, get your free personal analysis, and get a preview of your financial GPS. Find out what your results might be. There's our contact information. Thank you so much for taking a look at this video. We look forward to hearing from you.